they measure a vendor in three ways. They're looking at speed to value. Clearly, they're looking at how fast can you deliver on the benefits that you're promising. I think the second one is they're looking to reduce risk. So is there a risk to the project that's being implemented? Because that risk will cause delay. That risk could actually mean that you never achieve the goals you're hoping to achieve. And the final thing is they're looking for flexibility in the offering. And that's where the SaaS offering nowadays becomes so important. They are not committing to a 10, 15-year commitment. They're maybe committing to a 1 or 2 year commitment with a view that they could change if they wanted to. Now that puts the onus on the technology vendor to say, we will service this account very well. We will adopt and adapt our product to your needs so that you won't churn us out.
If I look at B2B buyers these days, they're more educated, they understand their role as a buyer better, and as a result of recession, I would say that they have become a lot more careful about what they invest in. It also has to address directly some of their key pain points in their organizations. So just like at Autodesk, if we invest now, it will have to cut costs, it will have to give us a competitive advantage, or it has to increase revenue. So if it's one of those three things, and it can be proven, then yes, we can look into it. And that's the first step you have to go over. So that kind of, let's say, naive interest in technology as such is long gone because there's so much of it.
The B2B buyer in software to me is, a very complex animal in some respects, but also very simple. And I think you have to balance the two. So there's a multitude of influencers, there's a multitude of inputs that they need. And in terms of the decision-making process, there's a whole bunch of hoops that those individuals need to work through. But I still come back to the buyers are buyers and they buy from people. And in my book, I still think if you can convince an individual that there is value in what you offer them, they will then make those steps work to get the decision made. So I think you always have to balance the two.
It's an interesting area because a B2B buyer is both a business person and a real person, if I can call it that. And you have to understand both of those, and we call it the consumerization of IT that we're seeing here, is that there are consumer devices that we use, there are ways of doing things that we have in our home lives, and we want to see the similar sort of capabilities in the business place, and we do bring more of ourselves into the way we find our IT solutions today. That said, it's still important to understand that there are processes that business buyers go through, and they work through those. So you need to support those. But yes, you should talk to them to appeal to their human needs as well as their business needs, because that's the only way you'll get a rounded solution that really works for them.
People buy in certain ways, and I think we need to look more at the psychology of buying than perhaps we do at the moment, and assuming every customer is the same, because they quite simply are not. And it's also governed by things like the kind of day they're having. And if your marketing message happens to resonate on the day where they're just looking for that one proposal that says what it does on the tin, you're laughing. And so there is a look element to it as well. But I think if you put all these things together in the right package, with the right rational arguments, the right emotional connection, your brand stands out, and you're differentiated in terms of what you do in products and services side, you give yourself the best possible chance of being successful.